All right, good afternoon, boys and girls. We are on not classifying triangles. That is crazy. We are classifying quadrilaterals today, not triangles. That's a goofball mess up for me. I'm sorry. Um, what we're going to be learning today, not triangles, but we're going to be learning about quadrilaterals um, and classifying quadrilaterals by its parallel sides. We're going to draw different types of quadrilaterals and identify different types of parallelograms. All right. Here is a joke that we came up with the other day. Enjoy. If you guys have any other jokes, write them down and then recommend them to us, and maybe I'll put it in. All right. So, quadrilaterals, as we learned from lesson 32, is a polygon with four sides. Although all quadrilaterals have four sides, quadrilaterals have many different shapes, and here are different types of quadrilaterals on the top row. We have squares, rectangles, we have a parallelogram, a trapezoid, and a trapezium. Okay, so one way we can classify quadrilaterals are by its parallel sides. Okay, and what parallel means, remember, they're lines that go side by side. And when we put these together, we have these lines with these lines, for example, and you put them together and attach them at the ends of the line segments, you'll get something that looks something similar to this. Okay, and then when we use these two pair of lines with these, we'll get something that looks something like this. Does that make sense? Now, a parallelogram is basically a quadrilateral with two parallel sides. Okay, so this would be a quadrilateral because this side is parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to that side. Same thing with here. And even though these sides are curved, these two sides are parallel, and these two sides are parallel. Right? This is not considered a parallelogram because these sides are not parallel. All right. Trapezoids, which that's what this is, are a type of quadrilateral that have only one pair of parallel sides. Okay, and that the top and the bottom are parallel here. Oops. I'm sorry, I don't know what just happened. Okay, and then this here at the end, don't look at this A, B, C, and D, but this is a trapezium, and as you can see that there's no parallel sides on this trapezium. Okay, so if you have a four-sided shape that doesn't have any parallel sides, you call that a trapezium. So let's look at our first example. In our first example, we're going to draw a parallelogram, a trapezoid, and a trapezium. To draw a parallelogram, begin by drawing two parallel segments of the same length. Then we draw two more at the endpoints, and you just have to make sure they're parallel. So now we have two sides that are parallel. That's a parallelogram, but it also looks like a rectangle. And so rectangles are actually a special type of parallelogram. Now to draw a trapezoid, we begin with drawing two parallel lines of different lengths, and then we connect them at the endpoints. Okay, and so we see that when we do that, we have one set of parallel lines and one set that's not parallel. To draw a trapezium, what you're going to do is you draw two segments that are not parallel and they don't intersect, so you don't want them to touch each other. Okay, then from there you're going to attach the endpoints, and now you have a trapezium. All right. Example number 2. This figure is an example of a square. Which of the following could not be a square, a parallelogram, a rectangle, a rhombus, or a trapezoid? And the answer is D. A square is a quadrilateral with parallel sides of equal length that intersect at right angles. A parallelogram, a rhombus, and a rectangle could all be square. A trapezoid could never be square because a trapezoid, remember, only has one set of parallel lines. So here's your lesson practice. Use the words parallelogram, trapezoid, trapezium and rectangle and rhombus and square that were used in this lesson to describe quadrilaterals. All right. Use every word that applies to describe each quadrilateral below. Okay, so what you're going to do for A through F, describe if it's a parallelogram, a trapezoid, trapezium, rectangle, a rhombus, or a square. Okay, describe the difference between a parallelogram and a trapezoid, and for letter H, draw a rhombus that does not have right angles. All right, good luck with that. If you have questions, feel free to write those on the back. Oh my gosh, we have a whole bunch of new math language. Well, you know what? We're going to do the math language when we get back. All right? Have a good night tonight. And if you have any questions, feel free to write those on the back.